Yo, what's going on? It's another episode of Black Quarterback Series. If you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series where we talk about every single game from the Dallas Cowboys all the way to the Houston Texans. Rough week for everybody, including Russell Wilson. Let's talk about it.
Made the big play on this drive, now 3rd and 10. Whole bunch of Browns coming after. Jackson trying to keep it alive. Put it up for grabs. And it's a touchdown!
So like I said, hey, if you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series. And today we're going to get right into it. So I've done a video on Dallas already for Thursday. So I'm just going to tell you his numbers. Everything I believed in that game, everything I believed in that video is pretty much what happened. Some I didn't say in that video that I did see when I went back and rewatched it. Bad referees, which has been a trend all year. And the missed field goal and the PAT were huge in the reason why Dallas lost that game. Dak was 25 for 51, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Everything else I went more into depth about it in that video, so go check that video out. So the next we have, I also did a video on it, but I'm gonna go into a little more in depth with this video. Lamar Jackson and his ugly win. So ugly. So I'm gonna break down all the interceptions. First interception was a tip pass. The second one was a bad read. The third one was also a poor pass. And I have the fourth one here. The fourth one, he threw it up, and his receiver couldn't make a play on it. So I don't blame that one on him. Or the first one, but the two in the middle were completely on him. He was 20 for 32, 165 yards, a touchdown, and 4 interceptions. He had 303 total yards, and Baker Mayfield only had 262 total yards. Can we please stop talking about Baker Mayfield? Because if this is anybody else, y'all be ready to get rid of him. Baker Mayfield is not that guy. He shouldn't have won number 1 overall, and he shouldn't have backdoored Odell out of Cleveland, even though Odell wanted to leave Cleveland. But Lamar did what Lamar made the plays when he made. I feel like I say this every week. Lamar made the plays when it was time to make the plays. The beautiful spin move to throw a touchdown to where Myles Garrett couldn't do nothing but shake his hand. Like, the dude is a big time gamer. I love his play. Patrick Queen, that guy, he's all over the field. All over the field. We don't win without his contribution and him gutting it out when he obviously had that injury. And that was pretty much it. Like, the game was ugly, super duper ugly. They get the ball back with like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the fourth, and that was pretty much it. They had big time runs, big time passes. They did everything they needed to do to win, but it was ugly. It was ugly. And speaking of ugly, let's address it. Cam Newton played terrible yesterday. He played terrible. He was 5 for 21, 92 yards, 2 interceptions. But let's not act like the defense played any better. It was a collective effort of BS in Carolina. They all played terrible. Every single one of them played terrible. Couldn't keep them out of the end zone. And the 2 interceptions, I think they might have been both bad passes, but the first one could have been just not knowing the playbook well enough. So I'm not sure. They ended up benching Cam and went to P.J. Walker, who was 5 for 10, 87 yards, and an interception. So he didn't fare no better. Just a really bad game for them. I don't know who they play next week. They might play the Bucs next week. I don't know. But it's starting to look like the fairy tale is over. But I still believe in Cam. I still believe Cam can get it done and possibly make it to the playoffs. But it's going to be a rough road ahead because you've lost all your gimmies. They were supposed to be gimmies. So we shall see. I still believe in Cam, unlike some people. I expect him to get it done. It was just a bad game. This is the same defense that made Lamar look pedestrian. So let's not act like Cam did it really, really bad. You know? And I'm very disappointed in the coverage that this has got. Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson were crucified for playing bad football. when Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill, and Ben Roethlisberger also played equals terrible. Ben Roethlisberger got blew out. He got blew out, and nobody said anything about it today. Let that have been Lamar or Cam Newton that played that bad. But we know how this goes. That's exactly what I made this series for. I made this series for that specific reason, so I can give these guys and show these guys and give them light when nobody else wants to give it to them. So that's what this series is for, to combat that type of stuff and look at the whole perspective. Because these guys on TV don't watch the games like I do. They don't study like I do. And I know for sure they don't. So they just say whatever gets ratings. And speaking of a game that would have not got ratings, and I wouldn't have watched it if I didn't have to, Tyrod Taylor. This is Tyrod Taylor. He was 17 for 26, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I tried to watch this game and I just couldn't get through the highlights. The Jets, believe it or not, have talent. They out-talented the Jets because they played just as awful. Tyrod Taylor had those 2 touchdowns in the first half, and that was pretty much it. They did nothing in the second half. They did absolutely nothing in the second half. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that was it. They ended up losing, I think it was 21-14. And they got to 21 and the Jets got to 21 in a very weird way. So, that's it. I just want to inform you what was going on with Tyrod. Nothing really moved the needle or anything when it came in regards to that. But what did move the needle is Philadelphia. I got Jalen was 14 for 31, 129 yards, 3 interceptions, 8 carries, 77 yards. Didn't play well either, but his reasoning for not playing well is different from Lamar's reason not playing well. Lamar and Cam's reason for not playing well is I think the defense has had a great scheme for them to scheme them out of doing what they wanted to do. I think Philly is just terrible. Like, I don't think I had Philly winning 6-7 games this year. I think I had them winning 3, 4. And they're 4 right now. He was forcing it. That interception at the half to go into halftime, you can't have that. You got to get something to feel good about yourself going into half. So he messed that up. But Jalen can't go out there and catch the ball for them. The game was there for them to have. And Jalen put his receivers in situations to be successful. They just couldn't catch the ball. So they couldn't catch the ball. And I'm sure that's frustrating. Jalen was forcing it all night, and that's what kind of got him in trouble with the 3 interceptions because he was just trying to make plays that wasn't there. So got to make better plays. But he was looking for the big plays. But like I said, he can't go out there and catch them himself. So I don't put this on Jalen. I put this game on those receivers because those receivers didn't help him out not one bit at all. Speaking of somebody not getting help, our last game, because a lot of our guys were on bye weeks this week, Russell Wilson. I don't have his numbers in front of me because I'm recording this right after the game, so I'm going to put his numbers on the screen. That type of game is very frustrating as a fan. Because you see what they did in that last drive, and you're looking, and you're like, why couldn't you do that the whole game? If they'd have played the game like they played that last drive, they would have won the game. But they played the last drive the way they should have been playing leading up to that. So it was difficult. DK only got like 3-4 targets. I think it was 2. I remember Russ throwing it to him 2. That can't happen. And there was multiple stretches in this game where it was multiple 3 and outs. I'm going to show y'all the time of possession, and I'm almost positive that the time of possession is extremely lopsided because the 3 and outs mixed with Russell Wilson still probably being kind of hurt and just them not playing well. It's time to move on from Pete Carroll. It might be time to blow it up. But something has to change. Something has to change in Seattle. This is the 3rd year in a row that it's went like this. They would make normally they would make the playoffs because Russell looks just that great. But Russell Wilson got hurt this year, and it flashed how bad the organization is. Either trade Russ, fire Pete Carroll, or you got to do one. You got to do one of the two. I'm not even going to give you other options. either trade Russell Wilson or you fire Pete Carroll. I hope they fire Pete Carroll because you can find another Pete Carroll. It's going to take you a decade to find another Russell Wilson. They're still looking for Dan Marino in Miami. Now, Tua might be it. Tua has had a great couple weeks, so the jury is still out. But defense is just on the field too much. When defense is on the field too much, you're supposed to get blown out by 30. But luckily, they were playing a scrappy team who's not really talented. Is play hard. And major shout out to Tyler Heineke. Dude is living the Kurt Warner dream right now. So if I want to see anybody make the playoffs out of the NFC into the NFC wildcard, that's not Carolina. I might, obviously, if it's not Jalen or Carolina, if it's not any of our guys, I want to see Tyler make it, just for the simple fact of his story. Short, very, very short week. Really ugly week for everybody. Just something to go into next week. Dallas is having real troubles. Dallas is 7-4. And eight assistants or eight people in the organization they came down with COVID. So it's looking real rough for Dallas. They were Super Bowl contenders about a month and a half ago. Now I just don't know what to make of Dallas. I might make a separate video about Dallas later on this week. Let me know if you guys want to see that. So that's all I got for you guys. Get rid of those leftovers or eat them. My grandma used to freeze her leftovers. So if you want to keep those leftovers, you got to freeze them. So happy late Thanksgiving. I'll see y'all later in the week.
It's disappointing. We have a good football team. We got a lot of great players and a lot of amazing effort every day. We give our all every day. I think from a player standpoint, we just day in and day out, we work our butts off. Offensive side, defensive side, special teams, and we're in a storm, and I believe that we have to keep going, and the only way to get to the other side is just believing that the water's going to calm down a little bit, and we'll be able to get through it. I think that the season's been a tough journey so far, just in general. We've had some crazy tough games and battled, and and so, that the last few minutes of the game shows that we have the right character of guys.
What will the process be like this week for you to go in and study what you think you might have done wrong on some of those interceptions and try to correct them before you go to Pittsburgh?
Just watch film and critique myself like I always do. I'm hot, dude. I threw 4 interceptions, 3 first half. I feel like those drives when the interceptions came, we could have did something on those drives. We could have put points on the board. And I just told my team, that's me. I owe y'all.